Looking for effortless style without the designer price tag? Discover your new favorite looks at shockshop.us. From chic everyday essentials to statement pieces that turn heads, ShockShop brings you trend-forward women's fashion designed to fit your life and your budget. Whether you're dressing for brunch, the office, date night, or a weekend getaway, we've got styles that move with you and make you feel confident. Fresh drops, flattering fits, fast shipping. Upgrade your wardrobe today at shockshop.us, where comfort meets confidence and style is always in season. Shop now and shine your way.
Jasmine Crockett faces backlash after Atlantic reporter says armed guards escorted her from Texas rally. Rep. Jasmine Crockett, D. Texas, is facing mounting criticism after an Atlantic staff writer alleged she was removed from one of Crockett's Senate campaign rallies by armed security guards following remarks by campaign staff that described her as a white girl and a top-notch hater. The dispute, which has unfolded publicly across national media and social platforms, centers on conflicting accounts of what occurred Monday evening at a campaign rally in Lubbock, Texas, where Crockett is seeking to build momentum in her bid for higher office. Reporter says she was escorted out. Elaine Godfrey, a staff writer for The Atlantic, wrote in a first-person account published Thursday that she had attended the rally for approximately 1 hour before being approached by a campaign staffer and told to leave. According to Godfrey's account, she had entered the event openly as a journalist and was directed to a designated press area upon arrival. After spending time observing the event and interviewing attendees, she said a woman wearing a badge approached her and asked if she was Elaine. Godfrey wrote that the staffer informed her she was no longer welcome at the rally. When she asked for an explanation, the staffer allegedly referenced a message from the campaign team that read, "Elaine from Atlantic, white girl with a hat and notepad. She's interviewing people in the crowd. She's a top-notch hater and will spin. She needs to leave." Godfrey further stated that armed security personnel escorted her out of the event and left her, quote, "on the edge of a Texas county road," end quote. The Atlantic reporter characterized the removal as abrupt and unjustified, noting that she had already been admitted to the rally and had been conducting routine reporting activity. Crockett disputes account. Following publication of Godfrey's article, Crockett pushed back on the characterization of events. In comments to CBS journalist Shauna Mazel, Crockett said there was no evidence that the Atlantic reporter had been kicked out of her campaign event. She described the controversy as silly season and suggested that a specific journalist present at the rally had a history of being less than truthful. Crockett also referenced what she described as a prior defamation lawsuit involving a journalist, though Godfrey publicly responded that she has never been sued by Crockett and has not lost any such case. "Perhaps she was thinking of someone else, because that's not something that has ever happened to me," Godfrey wrote. Crockett's office did not immediately respond to additional requests for clarification. Social media reaction. The dispute quickly sparked debate online, with commentators across the political spectrum weighing in on the incident and what it could mean for Crockett's statewide campaign. Former CNN political analyst Chris Cillizza criticized the handling of the situation, writing that it reflected a campaign not ready for primetime. Journalist Zay Gilliany questioned how Crockett expected to broaden her appeal in Texas if she was unable to manage relationships with mainstream publications such as The Atlantic, whose readership tends to lean Democratic. Other social media users argued that removing a reporter, particularly one from a national publication, could undermine perceptions of transparency. Some Democratic-leaning commentators also expressed concern that the optics of the incident could harm Crockett in a competitive general election. Critics described the episode as politically damaging and unnecessary, while supporters of the Congresswoman argued that campaigns have discretion over access to private political events. Campaign access and press rights. Political campaign rallies are often considered private events, even when open to invited members of the press. Campaigns typically retain the authority to deny or revoke access, though such decisions can carry political consequences, especially when they involve credentialed reporters. Media access disputes are not uncommon during high-profile campaigns. However, removals involving armed security and explicit characterizations of reporters tend to attract heightened scrutiny. First Amendment protections limit government interference with press freedoms, but private campaign events do not necessarily trigger the same legal standards. Nonetheless, public perception of media treatment can influence voter sentiment. Previous tensions between Crockett and Godfrey. The rally dispute is not the first instance of friction between Crockett and Godfrey. In July, Godfrey authored a profile of Crockett that reported included comments from other House Democrats. According to Godfrey, Crockett objected to aspects of the piece and said she was shutting down the profile and revoking all permissions. The profile was ultimately published. The renewed conflict has reignited questions about the Congresswoman's relationship with national media outlets as she positions herself for a broader statewide campaign. Political context. Crockett, who has become a nationally recognized figure within the Democratic Party for her outspoken style and frequent cable news appearances, is attempting to expand her profile beyond her current House district.
Texas remains a challenging environment for Democratic statewide candidates, and party strategists have emphasized the need for broad coalition building and disciplined messaging. Political analysts note that media management becomes increasingly critical during statewide campaigns, particularly in a large and diverse state like Texas, where suburban and moderate voters can play a decisive role. Ongoing questions. Several aspects of the incident remain contested, including whether Crockett personally directed the removal, who made the decision within the campaign team, and whether there is documentation clarifying what occurred. As of Friday, no additional evidence, such as security footage or written directives, had been publicly released by either side. The episode underscores the often tense dynamic between political campaigns and journalists, particularly during competitive election cycles, when messaging control becomes paramount. Whether the controversy will have lasting political consequences for Crockett's Senate ambitions remains to be seen.